Worksheet 114 has the cadet on there. Now I'm going to cheat a little bit. There are two divisions. I'm going to change both of them to multiplication when I write it. Because what I don't want to do is I don't want to write the whole thing out and then rewrite it as multiplication. So I'm going to write number 5. Well, actually, it's on the video. Now, you guys don't have to copy it. I'm gonna normally what I would do is just write it as multiplication. I'm going to write out the original question so that viewers at home can see it. This is 3x squared y minus 3xy squared divided by x plus 2xy squared over 9xy cubed plus 4x plus 4y squared. Now what I'm going to do, I would not write all this if I were you. I would just simply write the first fraction. Give yourself some room up above it, by the way. X to the 4th minus y to the 4th over 3x squared y minus 3xy squared times the reciprocal. We're changing division to multiplying by the reciprocal. I put the 9xy cubed over x squared plus 2xy plus y squared. Again, I have division. I'm changing division to multiplying by the reciprocal. I'm going to change this division to multiplying by the reciprocal. Now I would just write that, personally. I wouldn't write the division now. It's long. And you're going to have to do some factoring. All of these can be factored. This really you don't have to worry about. It means 9, but that's 3 times 3 times x times y times y times y. But you don't have to write it. You know what it means. I'm going to look for common factors. There's no common factors in this pair. Is there a common factor in this pair? Y squared. Take it out. What's left? X plus y. In this one, what's the common factor? 4. Take it out. What's left? Plus y squared. I want to point something out. You cannot factor binomials that have a positive in the middle. There is an exception that you'll know when you get to it. Normally, you can't factor these. The only time you can factor them is when it's minus, right? X squared minus y squared is okay. This is called a perfect square trinomial. It has that pattern. Squared, double the square roots, squared. This is, in fact, this is a standard form of a square. It's x plus y times x plus y. You need to recognize that when you see it. There was no common factors, by the way. Common factor in here, big one, what is it? 3. 3x, y. Take it out. What's left? X here minus y. This one can also be factored. It is a difference of squares. Now the bad news is that it can be factored twice. You factor it once into x squared plus y squared times x squared minus y squared. But that can be factored some more. This one can't, but this one can. I can factor that into 2 more parts. This is x plus y, x minus y. And now comes the fun part. You get to cancel anything that's alike in the numerator and the denominator. I have an x minus y, and I have an x minus y. I have an x plus y, and I have an x plus y. I have an x plus y, and I have an x plus y. I have an x squared plus y squared, and an x squared plus y squared. I have a 3 and a 9. I have an x and an x. I have a y and a y cubed. Give me y squared. I'm left with 1 times 1 times 1 times 3 times 1 times y squared times y squared times 1. I get 3y to the 4th. In the numerator, I have 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 times 4 times 1. Isn't that nice? My answer.
So 1.
You have to be a little bit neat on these.
Yeah.
Color coding for me helps because otherwise I can't tell where I was and what was happening. You may want to expand it out just a little bit, make it a little bit neater.
What is it, the square root of 4?
What's that?
Like 3y4.
Oh. Right here? Where is it? Oh, 3y to the 4th. Oh, because it's 3 times 1 times y squared, and you still have this y squared.
Oh, okay.
Y to the 4th there. Okay. Now this is a lot of homework. Hopefully you got some of your equations done. The nice thing is the answers are at the bottom, so you know whether you're doing it right or not.
Yeah.
Guys, just a reminder, this really is Algebra 1 worksheets. You really need to know this before I can teach you Algebra 2 and pre-calc. I'd like to get there.
You guys are singing
It'd be really good.
because it's Chinese girls singing.
I would tell them. So, you know what the third song? Oh, my friend.
Okay guys, this is an expression. We are going to simplify it. It's called a rational expression because it has fractions in it. First thing you need to do is make this into a fraction, just like the others. What is it?
1 over 1.
Over 1. You need to make that change. Now I'm going to recommend using 2 colors. First of all, factor all your denominators. In every single problem that we do all of today, you need to start by factoring denominators. I want to point something out. Yes, this is 3 times 3 is 9, but you're not factoring these independently because they are connected with a subtraction or an addition, just like these are connected. This is one factor. If there's an x minus 3 somewhere else, up here, you could simplify it. Otherwise, you leave it alone. This one needs to be factored. I recommend you use the same color for this. Factor x squared minus 9. It's a difference of squares. It's a pattern factor. And the factors are?
X minus 3,
X plus 3, x minus 3. It's a pattern factor. It's one of the most common ones. Nice and easy. Equal and opposite means you get a 0 in the middle term. Very important that I use the same color. Now I'm going to use a different color, and I recommend you do that. If you don't use a different color on this, you're going to make mistakes. I'm going to multiply by what's missing, like I did before. Nothing missing from here. What's missing from here?
Excuse me.
Yes.
Can you please invite Ms. Garcia to the counseling center for a few minutes, please?
Moises isn't here, is he? No, he's absent now.
He's absent? Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh. Okay. What's missing from this one?
X minus 3.
Both. Yeah. X plus 3 and x minus 3. Both. Now when you're simplifying expressions, there's no equal sign. This is not an equation. And remember, equations I get to ignore the denominators, but I don't in this case. I do need to write my common denominator. That's going to be my first step, is to go ahead and write the common denominator down. Are they all the same now?
Yep.
Yeah, good to go. Have a common denominator. X plus 3 times x minus 3. And I'm going to write my numerators. I'm going to simplify them. I have 5, all once lonesome, plus, I need to distribute this guy. We'll do x plus 6. And this is just 1 times whatever this is. What's this?
X squared minus 9.
X squared minus 9, isn't it? We know it is because we factored it already, and if you multiply it together, you get x squared plus 3x minus 3x, gives you 0 in the middle term, minus 9, of course, which is what we expected. You need to simplify your numerators. That's the numbers on top. You need to add them together. I have an x squared. I have a 2x. And I have 5 and 6 minus 9. 11 minus 9 is 2. And I like to leave my numerators factored. Or denominators, factored. Plus 3 times x minus 3. I'm basically done. If I could, I'd like to factor the numerator and see if I could cancel something out. Wouldn't it be nice if this factored and there was an x plus 3 or something and I could cancel it out? That happens pretty often. In fact, if this right here was a minus 3, then I would be able to factor out and I'd be able to cancel. As it is, this can't be factored. You understand why?
Mm-hmm.
What's some ways to get 2? By multiplying. 2 times 1 is the only way to get 2, isn't it? What do you get when you add those? You get 3. If this isn't 3, you're not going to be able to factor it. There's your answer. I believe it says grade or something on it. Or grades. Grade. Yes? On the side there. So in the G box, you write the word grade. One thing I want you to be aware of is that there are disclaimers for this, also called domain restrictions. X cannot ever be equal to negative 3 or positive 3, because that would give me a 0 in the denominator. It's always a good idea to write those down somewhere. Keep it in mind.